Hello, hello, can everyone hear me? Welcome to show, dudes. Just sorting out something with the chat. Can see the chat on my phone. Reeves, GT, how are you? I'm just trying to log into this. For some reason, my chat logged out on OBS. So just have to allow it to let me in. 1 second. Oh, that was me. Put that on silent. Put that on silent. Why is there an ad? There's an ad playing in my chat. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. The chat, something's wrong with the chat, dude. So I'll read it on my phone. Sorry about that. Got this chat up. Guys, says hello. All right. How are we? How's everyone doing? I'm sure Reeves and GT are happy because Liverpool got the chocolates in a thriller. But we're going to talk about that. First things first. Let's just go right off the bat. Let's bring up the results for everyone so we can talk about it. All right. They are the results of the week. Bit of a shock result there. Bournemouth, Aston Villa 2-2. Brighton losing to Chelsea 3-2. Only Chelsea's second win at Stamford Bridge in 15 games. Liverpool, as we said, winning 4-3 in a thriller. 4 cracking goals too. That's right, Reeves. West Ham Palace 1-1. Man City Spurs in a bit of a shock. Spurs came away with joint points there at the Etihad. Arsenal stayed top, 2-1 win against Wolves. Brentford beat Luton, as everyone would have thought. Burnley got a big win against Sheffield United, 5-0. But I think Burnley was doing what they did in the Championship because it was a Championship game, really. Nottingham Forest losing at home to Everton. Newcastle beating United 1-0, which we're going to talk about. In Eric We Trust, guy says, I agree with that, actually, yeah. Just not the players, Reeves says. Well, listen, we can go right off the bat. We'll end with United. We're not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about some more happier things first. So Reeves and GT here. We've got the resident Liverpool fans here. Rob couldn't make it tonight because he's working, and John is also working. John will be back next week, so maybe we can get all three of us next week. See how we go with that. But first things first, Liverpool beating Fulham 4-3. I mean, watching it, like Reborn said, 4 cracking goals. If there's any negative that comes out of that, it's that, you had to score 4 goals to, like 4 crackers to win the game. But that's clutching at straws. They won 4-3 at home. I think Fulham beat them there last year, so, Liverpool. I think Liverpool are City's closest contender, even though City haven't won in 3 games. But they've drawn to who? They've drawn to Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham. So, not the worst 3 results. And we all know that they're going to come around in January and probably win 15 games in a row or something. So, I wouldn't be writing them off by any stretch of the imagination. Like a few people are saying, oh, they're not scoring, Hull on this, Hull on that. But listen, Liverpool got the job done. Endo scored a goal, who I know buy a right back, get Trent in midfield. He had an air of Gerrard about him on the weekend. Well, he was definitely spraying the passes around everywhere, and maybe it's because he's signed with Adidas Predator. He's taken over that Beckham monarchy. But listen, he's doing well. The only problem with him going into midfield for me is he's really bad defensively, as it's been well documented at right back, and he's going to have more defensive duties in centre mid than he is at right back. So listen, he's got all the attacking things down pat. Gareth Bale went from a left back to a left winger. Why can't he move up to the right wing? I don't know, but definitely Definitely a good win for Liverpool. Let's bring up a few of the others, eh? So this one is one that shocked me. Bournemouth 2, Villa 2. I didn't see Villa dropping points to Bournemouth. Villa have been in like ripper form. They've actually coming up. They've got to play now 2 home games in a row. I believe they've got Man City and then Arsenal. I think I'm just gonna have a look at it here because I didn't bring up the fixtures this week to bring up the graphic for it because there's actually 2 game weeks. So I'll show you this here. So I've got this up here. I've got the fixtures up here. So this week, Aston Villa playing Man City. 6:45 Thursday morning, same time as United Chelsea, and then it's Aston Villa Arsenal, both home. Imagine they beat City and Arsenal both at Villa Park. Like that'll be big results for them. Go you fucking Spurs, Chris C says. Hey, they got joint. We're going to talk about that. They came away with, some of the share of the points at the Etihad, which is a good result for Ange. Good result for them, considering they had Emerson Royale, Ben Davies playing centre back. Haaland couldn't buy a goal, so get your tips in, people. Get your tips in. Exactly 2 game weeks. 2 game weeks coming up. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock result. Bournemouth. I didn't think they'll get anything against Villa, but they did. So. But Villa still, listen, I think they're real good shout for top 4. So we'll see how they go once Europe starts getting a bit more full on and whatnot. But that'll take us, since Chris is here, let's go to that one. Man City 3, Spurs 3. Son, Son, he got put through. And everyone's been going on about Jeremy Doku. How quick he is, no one can beat him. And Son got the ball bouncing from Doku. Burnt him, man. And when he's through, he's one of those players that it's almost like you turn the other way, it's gonna score. Right foot, left foot. I remember Eric Cantona was like that. I'm not saying he's the same sort of player, but when he was through, it was a goal. And then he scored an unfortunate own goal after that. But listen. They were winning. City took the lead late. Grealish got his first goal in 27 games, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable stat when you think he's a £100 million player. Son is my son. Doku was Goku. It would be wild. This is true. And then listen, Kulusevski late, first minute, just before, stoppage time starts, scores a great goal. 3-3, good result, man. Considering he's no Van de Ven, no Madison, great result. If he starts getting some centre backs back, hopefully that gets him going a bit. But real good result for Tottenham. A lot of the pundits over there, they were bagging. Getting into Postecoglou a bit, he's a bit naive, this, that. You know what it is? I legit think, the Australia-England thing, I don't know what Reeves thinks about this. There's always this Australia-England thing. Are they upset that an Australian has come there and he's showing he's almost better than all the English managers? I mean, the only one I can think of that's near him is Eddie Howe. But it's like they just want to bag him. They want to bag him. I don't know why. Love how everyone said we'll lose. Everyone says everyone's going to lose to Man City, bro. It's not. They're the best team in the world. Who are the losers now? That you didn't win. Man United always loses if that's what you're getting to. I see 301 likes on this vid. Well, I hope that's true. But how you going, Cuban Pete? And Guy says, oh my God, it's chili con carne. three. Hopefully we've got three. Listen, guys, please like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a comment. But yeah, good result for Tottenham away to City. From what I've seen, everyone loves him. I like him. He's a good manager. Just a shame he's at Spurs. Serial underachievers. Yeah. Why was Haaland upset at the end? That's the one thing I'm going to talk about. So, you meant Haaland, right? But you're saying Haaland? That's all good. Haaland is wild. So, Haaland put Grealish through, and I don't know if he was onside and I didn't see it. And the ref played advantage, and then he just called it. Called to get, like, stop it. You know what? About time City get a bad decision. They're the only team that doesn't get bad decisions. So, who cares? I don't know. Haaland was throwing the toys at the pram because he is a man child. As everyone knows, he's a man child. Like, I screenshotted and sent you for your description. Has anyone else here seen The Witcher? You know, in the new Witcher season at the start, he like Cuban Pete's obsessed with it. He goes up and he's trying to get people to stay quiet, and he just walks up to him and he gives them this pouch of money and he goes, "For your discretion." Completely off topic, but it's fucking funny. I will look at the screenshot once I go off of here, Cuban Pete. But yeah, that's what he was unhappy about. Don't know, you know, cry me a river. Seriously, like, you've got given a goal earlier in the season where Akanji, I think it was offside by a meter and jumped over the ball, and or Haaland was up, whatever it was, and the goal got given. So, cry me a river, mate. From what I saw, the linesman had called offside. Haven't really looked into it. Don't really care. City got screwed. Yeah, exactly. They got screwed over. Cuban Pete's cracking up. So, like I said, it evens out. You know, like the refs have been terrible this year. I totally agree with Guy. The refs, and it's compounded by VAR, they have been like next level terrible. It's a joke, really. Like, it's a joke. How bad they've been is like a next level joke, really. Like, it's unbelievable. Like I said, compounded by bad VAR decisions, which was meant to VAR was meant to eliminate these shocking decisions. And yeah, Hooper again helping Spurs. Yeah, true. He bumped into someone walking off the pitch, nearly punch on. Nah, it wasn't like that. They make it seem like it wasn't. It's never nearly a punch on in soccer or footy for that matter. They're all just huff and puffers because they know nothing can happen. It wasn't like that. It was just he's a crybaby. He's a big crybaby. That's all there is to it. Like, they've had decisions go their way this year that were ridiculous decisions, like that offside one I said, you know. And did the other teams kick up a fuss like Haaland? Like, get over it, man. Go back, Benjamin Button, to your man child crib, wherever you are, and like I said, cry me a river. Enough about City. They didn't get the chocolates, haven't won in 3, but I still think they're favourites for the Premier League. You know, I would never count them out. I would never count them out. So, you know, we'll wait and see on that, I guess. But let's bring up some others. I didn't really watch West Ham Palace, but, you know, I expected West Ham to win at home, and they didn't. But then I did tip Chelsea to beat Brighton, and Chelsea with 10 men for 45 minutes, and they still ended up winning. You know, you don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. You don't know what Chelsea's going to show up, and the funny thing is I think Chelsea play good against the good teams, as they've showed. They beat Tottenham 4-1. They drew with City 4-all. They beat Brighton now. Then they go lose to the bad teams. That's why I think Man United will beat them on Thursday, because Man United is shit. So that's why I think we'll beat them, because we're terrible. Arsenal are top, yeah, and chocolates. Chocolates? Chocolates are wild. Yeah, so listen, Chelsea got the win. I only saw the highlights of it. It's hard. There was a lot of late games this week. But I did tip Chelsea, and listen, hopefully they don't win Thursday morning against Man United, but I have no confidence in that debacle of a club, my club. Pizza Thursday night, Cuban Pete. Chris C is doing a challenge on Thursday night. I don't know. It's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded, but yes. He wasn't meant to tell anyone, and now he goes and tells everyone. So, remember he said last week on the podcast, I'm not saying anything, so, he just gave it away. He opened his gob. Hopefully he can open his gob big on Thursday and beat the challenge for us. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, shit, he reckons. Big man. Big man. All right. That can take us to that one, yeah. So Arsenal, they did get the chocolates, like Cuban Pete said. I don't know if Cuban Pete was paying me out, but yeah, they got the win against Wolves. They stayed top. Listen, they didn't get the chocolates. I don't know who I just heard chocolate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got the chocolates. They got the win. They got the yeah. They stay top. They got what are their fixtures? I think they got. Let me just look at it. They got. So coming up now this week, Arsenal got Luton away, which you think they'll win tomorrow morning or tomorrow night if you're there. Then they've got Villa away. If they go to Villa and win on Saturday, maybe, they're the real deal. Like, they definitely pushed City the furthest. Last year, I think Liverpool were the strongest challenger this year, but that's yet to be seen because obviously we're only 14 games in. But be an interesting week. Like, if they turn around now and go somehow lose to Luton tomorrow, like, everyone would be like losing it, you know what I mean? So, and then they got Villa away, so they got 2 away games, which is never easy. But currently, they're top. Mark John says Crows 2024. Sorry, wrong show. Doesn't matter, man. You're a HFD supporter, so please come in and like, share, subscribe. Cuban Pete says good luck, Chris. Gives the knuckle that's obviously for the challenge. Let's go over. It's not going to be as long a show tonight, guys, because we're not going to really go into the fixtures because there's 2 game weeks. But me and John, and hopefully Rob on Monday, will go over both the two game weeks: Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Sunday games. So I want to see the Harndorf hot dog. There's a hot dog at a place called Harndorf, guys, for people that don't know that are not from Adelaide. There's a metre-long hot dog, and we've challenged Chris to do that as a challenge for Hunky Food Dude. So, yeah. He says yes soon. There you go. But let's bring up the real. Let's continue on. Brentford, they got the win at home, 3-1 against Luton. Listen, I know it was only Luton. Luton, they're probably going down. But man, I think Thomas Frank deserves a lot of credit. Everyone thought without Ivan Toney, they were going to really struggle. They haven't struggled. And, they can probably turn around now in January. They've got a huge price tag on him. Sell Ivan Toney. Make some money. Bring some players in and do even better. They've proved they can do well without him. And, big target for teams like Arsenal, United, even Chelsea maybe for Ivan Toney in January. So, but they've slapped a huge price tag on him. Will they get that big price tag? I don't know. But listen, I think Thomas Frank, he deserves a lot of credit. He's got them playing good. He brought them up. What is it, their 3rd season now, I think? I think it's their 3rd. 2nd or 3rd. And they're doing real good. Sheffield manager expected to be sacked today. Apparently he got the sack, I heard, and Chris Wilder got the job. Is that true? Higginbotham, I heard he did get the sack, and they rehired Chris Wilder, which makes you ask the question, why did they sack him to begin with if they were just going to rehire him 2 years later? You know what I mean? But I believe I did hear that on Rio Ferdinand, Vibe with 5, that's what happened. So I'm not sure if it, but it was on Rio's show, so I'm guessing it did happen. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. But like I said, they've paid out Wilder now, probably millions now, giving him a new contract. So I think they're going down. You know, it's amateurish, amateurish. But let's bring up some more results. Burnley, huge win at home, 5-0 against Sheffield United. See, I think the reason they won and won so well is because they were playing another championship team. They did what they did in the championship last year, which was dominate these teams. And as we're talking about Higginbotham getting the sack, they thumped them because I believe that is going to be a fixture in the championship next year. I actually think Everton will survive even with the 14 points deduction. I think Sheffield United, Luton, and Burnley. I think the three teams that came up are gone. They have 5 points. Not good enough. Yeah, it's true. I agree. It's it's definitely not good enough. For a team, did they get 100 points or something last year, Burnley, in the championship? To come up and be like this is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, when Brentford came up, look how good they did, like Bournemouth, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but huge win for them nevertheless. So Company got a bit of pressure off him, I guess, with that big win. If he can keep winning games at home, maybe they won't get relegated, but that's where he's going to have to be trying to pick up wins at home. Do you like Rashford? Alia says. Mark Goldbridge and KP live at the same time. I'll be loyal. That's mean, man. Not even, you just, we're way better than him anyway. Don't worry about Mark. Um, do I like Rashford? I do like Rashford. I've always backed him. I don't like the way he played. I don't like how he's playing this year. He's definitely playing shit and should be dropped for his performances. But we'll get into that in a minute. He he's definitely not playing up to standards. And he should be dropped for it. That's all there is to it. There shouldn't be. John says, I don't like that word, so I don't say it. I don't like digging into our players. Um, I don't know. It's a weird one with him. Apparently, it came out today. He's lost a family member, and I don't know. But that's no excuse. If you put your hand up to play, you're saying you're good enough. You should be. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one with him, but we'll talk about that when I talk about United in a second. Um, the problem with him is, I actually think Ten Hag's a bit to blame for Rashford because, like John has said it before, pick players on merits. Sir Alex picked players on merits, right? He's playing shit, so drop him. I still back Ten Hag. I'm going to talk about that in a second when we talk about United, but I still think he's a bit to blame for that because why is he picking him if he's playing shit? He bought a player in Anthony, which he bought, who is a right winger. Whether you like him or not, whether you rate him or not, you bought a right winger, so put him in if Rashford's playing shit. If he can't, if Garnacho's better than him on the left wing and you're selecting him, select him and bench him. No one is above being benched. As we proved with Ronaldo, he kicked up a fuss because he was crying that he couldn't accept being on the bench, at this stage of his career. But everyone gets dropped. If you're not playing good, you don't fit in with the manager's tactics, he should be allowed to drop him. And it makes me wonder, is he not allowed to drop him? That's the thing. But we will talk about that. McTominay on the other hand, McTominay's terrible as well. McTominay's got heart, desire, everything, but he's Casper. McTominay auditions for Casper the Friendly Ghost because he is nowhere to be seen in the middle of the park. He can score a goal here and there, but to have 9 touches for a 90-minute game in the centre of the park is not good enough. Like, I could get more than 9 touches without trying and playing a shit game and being unfit, I reckon. At that level, like, it's unbelievable. Just go touch it. Mind boggles me. But let's go. The one we'll talk about before we talk about United. Everton got the points at Nottingham Forest. And like I said, I think Everton will stay up. Big result at the City Ground. Listen, I think Everton will stay up, but I don't know what the word is by default because there's 3 teams worse than them, even with a 14-point deduction. And that's an indictment on those teams like Burnley, Sheffield United, Luton. If you can't stay up when a team has been deducted 14 points that was in a relegation battle to begin with, you're not good enough to be in the league. So, yeah. Yeah, he has to be dropped. We'll see. Talk about it. So, yeah, exactly. He does. Yeah, you're spot on. But that brings us to that United game. As everyone can see, I got revved up already. United, disgraced. It says 1-0, but it should have been about 7-0. Should have been 5-0 at halftime. I don't know who these players think they are. This is the one thing I've got to put out. They're getting paid millions of dollars to go out and not give effort. And this is the question I asked you. I asked John this earlier. I asked my dad this. My dad's been watching Man United since the 50s. These players have gotten 3 managers the sack before Ten Hag, right? Have you ever heard, even when they were shit, we've been watching United our whole lives, as a Liverpool team ever played against Man United and down tools? No fucking way. But last year, by all accounts, United down tools against Liverpool, 7-0. 2 years, whenever it was, 3 years before that, Jose's last game was against Liverpool. The players down tools to get in the sack because they backed Pogba. All these shit kicker players that are almost all still there. They've down tools against their fiercest rival 2 or 3 times in the last 10 years. Is an absolute disgrace. All these players, what I believe they should do is, the director of football, whoever it is, I don't care if it's Darren Fletcher, whoever it is, Sir Jim Ratcliffe if he's in, they should get all the players in the room. I said this to John. Don't know what everyone else thinks of this. They should get all the players in the room, sit them all down, have Erik Ten Hag there right next to them. They should say, listen, we are backing this man. Whoever's on board with him, that's excellent. Whoever's not on board with him, you either get on board or you get sold. Because you've gotten 3 managers the sack before him. We're backing him. We're giving him a contract. We don't care if we finish 15th, 16th, 17th, whatever. We don't care. We don't care if we're in a relegation battle. We're backing him. Every one of you that is not on board with him will be sold because that's the only way of getting rid of the cancers that are here. And either get on board or don't. And that's it. That's exactly what I'll do. Waiting for a program to run 50% of the dressing room against Ten Hag, that's total BS. Yep, agree, KP. Yeah, true. Mate, Bruno's the biggest baby ever. Stuff doesn't go his way and he starts crying. Yeah, but Bruno's whinging doesn't bother me, Reeves, because his whinging is it's like petulant captain. I know it as a captain. You do that because you're just revving. You know what I mean? It's a Sir Alex was 17th and the board still backed him. Well, they did it. Nottingham Forest did it with Cooper last year. He was in relegation zone. They went in there. They gave him a contract. And they survived because the players have got to think, oh, listen, he's staying here, so we got to get on board. That's all there is to it. Well, it's Dragonfly living in his perfect world of City. Shut up, guy. And the thing about it is, there's been players, I don't know, Wayne Rooney, who's twice the player, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial. He's probably twice the player of any player in the Man United squad at the moment, right? And he ran more than all of them. He worked harder than all of them. You know what I mean? These guys not running, not giving. The minute something hasn't gone their way, there's leaks. I've got to talk about these leaks today, right? Nah, Bruno legend, Slippy G was a sook. Yeah, I don't mind how Bruno, so he's a sook. But that sook doesn't bother me. It's not like a sook where I'm not giving effort, like what Rashford and even Garnett, what they did the other night, the other players. That's disgraceful. I watched the EPL defenders last round. They're fucking awful. Yeah, they are a bit. But so today, the minute the pressure's on the players, these are real reports came out today. The Manchester United players are disillusioned with Erik ten Hag's training and how intense it is, and that he's making them run too much. He's making them run too much. I can go there for free. I don't have to be a director of football. I don't have to be an ex-pro. I don't have to be Roy Keane. I don't have to be anyone. I can go there, sit that squad down and tell them for free, listen, you morons, the reason the coach is making you run at training is because you don't fucking run during the games. You played Newcastle and none of yous were running. So yous are running here because yous don't look fit. You're not giving in effort. So it's a form of getting fitness and a form of punishment. And if they're professionals and don't see that, they don't deserve to be professionals. Look at Newcastle. You got players like Anthony Gordon. Joel Linton was chucking McTominay around like a rag doll, working everywhere, and he's not even a midfielder. He's a failed forward. The guy looked like Zidane. You know, he was killing us. Gordon. Like, I know they're hyping him up there. Is he that good? Tell me, please, because he's not. Asuka carried that LFC team on his back. Bruno would need a box of tissues if he was under that pressure. KP at your peak, which defenders would you be wary of? What, in the Premier League? They earn way too much. They do earn way too much. I just said that. I said this to John. I actually said this to Chris today. I would love Marcus Rashford, Martial, whoever. Come do my job for a day. And then go play soccer after like we do. You know what I mean? Like, they'll break a nail and cry, these blokes. And they're getting paid how much money? Way too much money. Agree, Chris. That's why teams should be South America, Africa, Asia. So teams should buy. Okay. Yeah, you should buy from there. 300k a week and complain about running. I know, like, when I was playing at my peak here, listen, okay, it's not English Premier League, it's not whatever, but I played at state level. You know, I played for my state. I played at the highest tier I could play at here. And we were getting 14s, 15s. I remember some people getting 16s in beep tests. And that's what they're getting. And they're getting 300k a week. And they're doing the same fitness we were doing. And they're the same, you know what I mean? Like, and they're complaining about running. And then Nemanja Matic does an interview today. He didn't carry shit. Slipped and didn't win a Prem. You know what? Nothing against how good of a player Stevie G was, right? But it's an absolute disgrace that Stevie G is in the Premier League Hall of Fame and Ryan Giggs isn't. Because of whatever off-the-field stuff has happened with Ryan Giggs, he's been proven innocent. Whether anyone means that or not, he won 11 Premier Leagues. He should be the first name in the Premier League Hall of Fame. Before Shearer, before Henry. I don't care what anyone says. Agree, guy. I've seen defenders turn their back in a wall. Fuck's sake. Hit the ball at me for 200k per week. I'll do it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're getting paid so much money and they're at the same fitness level I was doing here when I was training to go overseas. So, cry me a river, man. Your coach tells you to run. Fucking run. Back to it. Nemanja Matic does an interview today. He was probably on an NDA, non-disclosure account until his contract ended, whatever. And he said, when I was at Chelsea with Jose, everything was so professional. He goes, and then I signed for Man United and I expected the exact same thing. He goes, I got to Man United. He goes, players were late every session. It was so unprofessional with a manager. He goes, that's why Jose failed. Right? So what's that telling you? That's been going on since 2017. Maguire's still there. Martial's still there. Lindelof's still there. McTominay's still there. Dalot. Mourinho bought Dalot. Who else? Rashford. That's 6 of the starting 11 now that are still there they've had 3 managers sacked because they're crybabies. And then Stephen Howson puts out a thing on Stretford Paddock today, and he goes, because he's in Manchester, he's got good connections with the club. He was all these people backing Jadon Sancho. He goes, it's on good authority that Jadon Sancho, whatever happened with him and Ten Hag, right? He was missing training sessions. And these players are backing him. Whoever they are that are backing him, when your mate wasn't coming to training, you're a moron. You should leave the club. If Eric Ten Hag gets the sack and I have to see if Sancho plays for Man United again, I will never back him. I will never support him. I don't care if he scores a Champions League final goal. I will not support that player. He should be gone. Liverpool Man United arguments happening in the chat here. Listen, I'm done with the Gerrard arguments and that, because I always used to have the Gerrard versus Scholes argument with Liverpool people. And listen, whatever player you like, Man United people are always going to pick Paul Scholes. Liverpool people are always going to pick Gerrard. But I saw an interview with John Terry, right? And they said to Terry, who was better, Lampard, Gerrard, or Scholes? And this was his exact words. You can find it on YouTube. He goes, listen. He goes, I have to pick Lampard, don't I? That's what he said. He goes, Scholes was unbelievable. So in other words, he's saying Scholes was better than all of them, but he's being loyal to his mate. So, I don't know. I would take Scholes. But Scholes has done interviews admitting, he goes, I couldn't do what Gerrard could do. Box to box. He goes, I didn't have that athleticism. But Gerrard proved he couldn't do what Scholes could do. He went to be that quarterback type player near the end of his career. And as you guys are taking the piss out of each other, he slipped and cost the Premier League. He couldn't do what Scholes could do. But no one ever brings that up. They're like, oh, Scholes didn't have the athleticism to do this, to do that. But Gerrard couldn't do what Scholes could do either. Scholes was a better passer, kept the rhythm of the game going. Gerrard maybe had, they both scored over 100 Premier League goals, so they both could score goals. That's, it's Scholes and Gerrard both stayed back up training to work on their skills, etc. Who in the hell is doing that now? The problem is they don't let them do that now because of all this sports science shit, which is stupid. But, yeah. This week, tomorrow, 2 days away, Man U Chelsea. I'm Eric Ten Hag. I'm going in there exactly like I said they should be taking the director of football in there doing it, saying, I'm picking who's with me. If you're not with me, you're not getting selected. I'd be picking Hannibal, Kobe Mainu, Garnacho, Hoyland, Anthony, because he bought them. I'll be picking them. They both demand the ball in midfield. Who is doing that now? Yeah, it's true. It doesn't happen now. It's now you got to be given it's like they were talking about it with Roy Keane. Roy Keane will be worth £300 million now because he did everything. He attacked, he scored goals, he defended. Now you're either an attacking midfielder, a central midfielder, or a defensive midfielder. It's like you can't be. Roy Keane did everything, all of it. Like anyone that watched him knows that. Like he'd be the most expensive player in the world. I'm telling you. So he was so good at doing it all. Like he could crunch people when it came to being tough. He could do that. When it came to Rooney said he believes Roy Keane was the best dictator of play he ever played with, and he played with Scholes. So Ten Hag developed a young Ajax to dominate. Here's another. Yeah, and they're just going to get him sacked. This is the point I'm going to make too. So they got. What's next for Man United? They went with Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Serial winners. The group didn't like that. Serial winners, disciplinarians. They didn't like that. They got them to the sack. So after that, they go get the nice guy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The players loved him, but then they didn't like the trainings. They got him the sack because they downed tools. Then they get in the up-and-coming manager, Eric Ten Hag. Everything's good for a year. Now they're trying to get him the sack. You know? There's a pattern here. Like, what's next? You've tried the serial winners. You've tried the nice guy. You've tried the up and comer. There's nothing left. That's it. That's the type of managers. Keane should be United Director of Football. The only thing is, all these people are like, get Keane in there. He's a disciplinarian. He'll sort them out. But Roy Keane is already there. Eric Ten Hag is a disciplinarian. He is Roy Keane. He's being stern on them, and they don't like it. They're crying. So, Giggs better than Doku by far. Not even a comparison. Giggs in his pomp? Not even close. Giggs at his best on the left wing was the best left winger in the world. And Doku is not the best left winger in the world. Giggs was amazing. At his best, he was unbelievable. And we forget about these players. Going back how many years, whatever. Back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We forget about how good some of these players were. Everyone's like, oh, this now. And I was talking about it with Chris today. The players are runners now, mate. They are not as technically gifted as some of the players, or most of the players of yesteryear. They are runners. And I was saying it to Chris about they're doing it with football. It's a runner's game now. They're doing it with soccer. They want you to cover the ground, run. Caicedo went for 105 million. Why? Because he can run and tackle people. Not because he can affect the game because he's a great footballer, because he can run and tackle. So that's where they're pushing the game. And now, I said it to Chris, there's no characters anymore. Like, they don't want characters in society, so they're not in sports anymore. We don't have them in football here. They're not in soccer anymore. Where's your Cantonas? Where's your Beckhams? Where are these characters that made us fall in love with the game? They're not there. Run, run, run with no football brain. Exactly. Who the heck is Doku? Goku's dad. Imagine he was Goku's dad. But, listen, I've ranted enough about United. The way I see it is, like I said, I think they should go in there, offer Eric, tell the players, we're giving him a contract. If you're not on board, you're getting sold. And then I would ring up the Saudi Pro League and I would say, listen, all your teams, make an offer for any player. No player is off limits. Make an offer for any player. No player is off limits. We will consider, not saying we'll sell you anyone, but no, we will consider any offer. No player is off limits because we're clearing house. And we don't care if we finish 15th. We're backing Eric Ten Hag. We're not backing this virus of a playing group because they've gotten too many managers sacked. But then, I've said this to John as well. On the other hand, there's things that Eric Ten Hag's doing too that I don't agree with. I think he's got to realise this isn't Ajax. This is Man United. He stripped Maguire of the captaincy, played him 5 starts last year. And now, he tried to sell him and now Maguire's his starting centre-back. That's stupid. That's idiotic. He signed a midfielder, Amrabat, whether you like him or not. I particularly don't like him, but he signed Amrabat, tried to sell McTominay, and Amrabat's not playing and McTominay's starting. After he tried to sell him, he didn't play him last year. Bought Anthony, he's not playing him. He bought Mount before he was injured, he wasn't playing him. He got rid of a goalkeeper that won a Golden Glove to bring in Poppadom Hands Onana. So he's done things that, I don't agree with either, but he did win a trophy. He brought in Casemiro. I truly believe he's missing Martinez. Man United are missing Martinez so bad because he is one of the players that backs Ten Hag because he bought him. And, the Argentinian there like that, he'll tell players to shut up. He'll a bit of a leader. And we're missing him so bad, it's not funny. That whatever's happened with Varane and Ten Hag, it's unbelievable. like this is what I said to John. If I'm Ten Hag, I'm not falling out with the likes of Casemiro and Varane, guys that have won 5 Champions Leagues each. I'm falling out with Maguire, who's been relegated with Hull. McTominay, who gets 5 touches in a game. I'm falling out with those players, dropping them. Even Rashford, dropping players that have won nothing. I'm not falling out with Varane and Casemiro. And it paints a bit of a bad picture for Ten Hag because the 5 players or the 4 players he's fallen out with were United's top earners. So it sort of paints a picture that maybe he's being a bit of a puppet for the Glazers because he fell out with Ronaldo, was the top earner. He fell out with De Gea, was the second top earner. He's fallen out with Varane, was the 4th top earner. He fell out with Jadon Sancho, was the 3rd top earner. So he's fallen out with all these players that were top earners, makes it seem like he's being a bit of a puppet for the Glazers, which I hope is just coincidence because what Sancho did is a fucking disgrace. He should never play for Man United. What I don't get is he should never play for Man United again. Let's say De Zerbi comes in, right? They sack Ten Hag. What if De Zerbi comes in and goes, I'm not picking Sancho because I know he's a troublemaker. Do the players that are backing Sancho turn around and go, oh, well, we don't like De Zerbi now, we're going to get him the sack? He's been here for a week. Get rid of these. Get rid of him. Yeah, Shaw is a good player. Alia says, yeah, he is. I still love watching Luke Shaw. He's a real... Yeah, he is. Yeah. Agree, KP. Sell Maguire. Get Varane in, for fuck's sake. Yeah, pop it on hands. Agree, KP. Yeah, it's so missed. And Martinez and Varane were the starting centre-backs last year. So, listen, in saying that, it's been a good show. I've done a good rant. I didn't talk about the fixtures, like I said, because there's 2 match weeks this week. So, this game's starting tomorrow and Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think. Me, John, and Rob, I believe all 3 of us should be on Monday night. We will talk about both game weeks, which will be 15 and 16. We'll talk about both of them, and should be a good show. Like I said, Aston Villa got 2 home games, Man City, Arsenal. Huge week for them. United have got Chelsea, Bournemouth away, then Liverpool. No, Chelsea home, I think Bournemouth home, maybe, then Liverpool away, which is... I think that game could get Ten Hag the sack, which I don't want him to get the sack, but if they down tools at Anfield, who knows what it could be. But yeah, big week ahead. We will see you probably Thursday night, me and Chris, and City back on top by Tuesday. Nah, it's over, Rob. I don't know about that, but me and Chris probably see you Tuesday. History FC, unfortunately. See ya, man. See ya, Alia. West Ham, Brighton, and Villa suffered because they have. But I think it'd be a good. If Villa turn around and beat City and beat Arsenal, mate, that's huge. You know what I mean? Can't wait to play you. Yeah, I would. I don't think anyone can wait to play United because you don't know what you're going to get. But I believe he puts Mainu, think players like that in, the players that want to work for him. Even if, like you said, you don't Anthony's shit. He's going to work for him. So I'd be picking all these players that want to back him. Hoyland. But yeah. See you Thursday night, guys. Me and Chris will be back. And me, John, and Rob will see you Monday night. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. If you can, leave a comment on the video. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.